So we're going to start our program for tonight. So Andrea and I are the Lifelong Connections co-chairs, and we are very excited to have you all here tonight, and we want to thank you for attending. And I, just want to say that tonight wouldn't have happened without the help of all of the folks here in their blue shirts. So just a quick round of applause for everyone and their help. So, all right, so we've got a lot of really awesome things planned for tonight, which we'll run through in a little bit. Before we do that, I wanted to share a little bit about what exactly LLC is. I'm sure that you've skimmed or ignored some of the emails that we sent, so I'm going to run through it now. All right, so what is Lifelong Connections? Lifelong Connections is all about celebrating our time together and giving back to the Haas community. And there are kind of three components. So the first is about connecting. So connecting, making sure that we're all connected to each other and to the broader Haas community. It's also about educating. So, making sure that we're all aware of all of the amazing resources available to us as alumni. And then pledging, of course. So, paying it forward and, thinking about all the amazing resources that we've been privy to and making sure that future classes have it too. And, of course, reaching 100% participation for our class. Thank you. So, why is LLC important? These lovely gentlemen in the middle. So, we've benefited as a class from LLC campaigns before us. So, money from LLC goes towards faculty hires like Tara Taylor and Don Moore. It goes to financial aid. It goes to some of the really neat build classes that we've been in, like IBD and S Cubed, people who aren't here right now, and lots of neat things like that. We also benefit as alumni. So, you all know that we get access to a certain number of hours of executive education courses. We also get access to career services as alumni. LLC also has impact on, as alumni we have impact on rankings, so this can go towards that. And again, this idea of paying it forward, so helping future classes, making sure that they have an amazing experience just like we have. And of course, because we all love Haas. So just the last slide from me, just so you guys are all aware of where our endowment sits relative to our peers. This slide, I know, we just wanted to put it in here. Just shows 2011 business school endowments. And you can see where Haas is, but just imagine where we could be if we were at, a level on par with our peers. And that's all I want to say. And now I'm going to turn it over to Dre.
Great. So we wanted to introduce who was involved in the Lifelong Connections Committee with Steph and I. So we've had a great team all year. Some of you have seen this picture on Facebook and through other channels. But let's give a round of applause to each of the individuals. So Deb, Mark, Amy, Emma, Chelsea, Addie, Christine, and Janice, and Steph and I. So this team has been working on the marketing efforts, getting these gifts together, putting together this event tonight and some other events that are coming up over the next few weeks that we'll talk about, as well as just making sure everyone's aware of what's going on. And lastly, we couldn't have done it without Meg. Truly, she's the expert here, and so we've learned a lot from her in what's been happening for the last 24 years for the Lifelong Connections campaign. So this is something that we're just continuing this year that's been going on for a long time, and Meg is a huge part of that. So a round of applause for her as well. So quickly, tonight's schedule. After we talk, we're going to have a couple of alumni speakers talk about their experience at Haas and as alumni and how the network has helped them. We're also going to hear from a few class speakers, and we have a special treat on that that will be a surprise. Lastly, what a lot of you are probably interested in is the class video debut, which is coming up shortly. It's really great. You might want to have some tissues out. And there's going to be a raffle later in the night. And so throughout the event, just so everyone's aware, there's pledging stations in the back where Meg and Janice is waving. So tonight is all about celebrating us together, but also thinking about pledging. And keep in mind that this pledge is just an intent to give. So you have about a year to actually fulfill on that pledge. So today is really just about making that commitment to give this year and ongoing. And then there's also a fun photo booth in the back, so be sure to check that out. There's some props, and we'd love to see what you guys can do creatively with your gifts that you get once you pledge.
And one interjection is if you pledge tonight, you get entered into the raffle.
Right.
And you definitely want to see what the raffle prizes are back there. They're pretty awesome.
Indeed.
And if you do choose to donate tonight instead of pledge, they will be matched 2-to-1. So that's something we can talk about that more on it.
There are some generous donors that have decided to match anyone's donation 2-to-1, so your money can go further if you decide to actually give. So you have those two different options. Okay, so we're almost done, but wanted to just share over the next few weeks what's happening. There's going to be a couple competitions. I know that you guys love competing, bringing it back full circle to cohorts. So first of all, there's going to be a prize for the first study group who pledges together, or as a full study group, and then also the first cohort to have 100% participation. So we'll announce what those prizes are later on, but just think about that, rally your troops, and let's see if you guys can, let's see who can win that. Additionally, there's going to be tabling, so you'll see some of the committee chairs tabling this week and the next few weeks, so there'll be also chances to pledge there, and chances to get your gifts and get some fortune cookies and just hang out and take some photo booth pictures as well at the tabling. And then lastly, there's going to be a soccer tournament coming up. It's going to be April 27th, Friday, April 27th. More details are going to come soon, but it's basically going to be kind of a World Cup event amongst, our class. So Addie and some others will send out information about that. So get excited. There's going to be a barbecue. There's going to be, partners are welcome as well, and it should be a lot of fun. So before we get on with the programming, we thought it would be helpful for Steph and I to at least give a quick chat about what Haas means to us, why we want to give back, and why we're excited. So from my standpoint, I think one thing that I just noticed as we were looking through the slideshow was one of my favorite memories from Haas was Dragioki. It was just a time when I thought the cohorts really came together. Everyone in the cohorts was involved, and it was just a great memory for me. Just wanted to share that. And also, looking back, I think the last 2 years have been amazing, phenomenal experience for me. And I think in large part, a lot of that had to do with all of you. But it also had to do with the generosity of classes before us. And I can think back to some specific things where I think that really contributed to my experience. So going to Saudi Arabia for 3 weeks with some of my classmates, wearing a head shawl, learning how to bake cookies efficiently from Terry Taylor was really informative for me, and having a Bollywood dance session with everybody at Consumption Function. So I don't think those things really would have happened without the contribution and generosity of others before us. And it's our time to think beyond ourselves and really think about how we can pay it forward, as Steph said, and give back to future classes to make Haas great.
All right, so I guess for me, when I think about what Haas means to me, it really comes down to all the people and all the relationships that I've, gotten to form and make here. And I think that's really what it comes down to, and why I've been so excited about this campaign in particular. From my study group and the friendships there, to all the trips that we've taken together, Columbia and IBD and all those different things and different opportunities to get to know people in different ways. And then, you know, also the alumni network and talking to people who are just so open to helping and sharing their experiences, either about school or career stuff. And that's really what has been so motivating and welcoming and made me really excited to be part of this community and part of the alumni community. And so yeah, so hopefully that's something that resonates with all of you, and that's why I'm definitely part of this. So anyway, with that, we're going to transition into our programming, and the first thing that we have up are alumni, and we've got some great folks here. We've got two alumni, Newton Cheng and Clayton Schloss, sorry, who are 08, and they're here to share their story about why Haas is important to them and awesome, and how the networks really impacted their lives.
Great. Hi everyone. So my name is Clayton Schloss, and this is Newton Chang. We're both really excited to be here tonight. We were actually just chatting about this before we came up. We're both having a bit of a flashback. The last public appearance the two of us made was during orientation week of the beginning of our second year at Haas, when we made the social presentation to all the first years. I don't know how much that presentation has changed since we left, but when we were here, it involved various types of cheese and some pie charts about your odds of scoring with classmates and so on. We had a lot of fun with that. So in any event, it's good to be back. And we're excited to share our thoughts and reflect on our experience at Haas and post-Haas. So just for a quick introduction, I am actually a local boy, grew up down the street in Rockridge, and there we go. And that's right. Lived in San Francisco prior to Haas. I spent 6 years as an investor relations consultant with Thomson Reuters, during Haas stayed in the city, and post Haas spent 2 years in management consulting with LEK Consulting, actually down in Los Angeles. I guess now 2 years ago, moved back up to the Bay Area, spent a little bit of time at a software startup called O-Power. It's an energy efficiency and smart grid software company. And just 6 months ago, moved over to Google. Since then, Newton and I have reunited. So.
Hi everyone, my name is Newton Chang. Before I say anything, so I met David, your VP of Social. So I was the VP Social back 07, 08, and I still have physical and emotional scars from carrying kegs and nursing drunken classmates. That is a hard job, so can we please get a round of applause for that guy? Thank you. Thank you, yes. My most notable Haas accomplishment other than that was I started the beer club with this guy back here, Joe Lazar. Yes, the beer club. I started another beer club at Google, so if you want to collaborate, please email me. But anyway, so my name's Newton Chang. Before Haas, I was an engineer. I worked on the PlayStation 3. Came to Haas, made a career switch, and now I run health and fitness programs at Google, basically. So I create and implement programs that keep people happy, healthy, and performing at their best. And I have the best job at Google. Sorry, I should probably segue. So we planned this very heavily. So you know, from here, I referred Clayton into Google, and so we just want to tell you a little bit about our story about how the network, you know, how we stayed connected, and how Clayton arrived at Google after I was there.
Great, thanks. Just a kind of an abridged version of my journey since leaving Haas. I think the kind of the recurring theme throughout my experience over the last couple of years has been that Haas has been an instrumental part in advancing my career and helping me experience new things, new companies, new cities, and at the same time helping me return home and find what it is I'm passionate about and doing something ultimately at the end of the day that I believe in and enjoy doing. So I can't say enough about the experience I had when I was at Haas, but also the experience since Haas. When I moved to LA, I didn't have a very large network like I did when I was in the Bay Area, and definitely relied on the Haas network. There were a number of classmates of mine down south, and we got together regularly to hang out, and I was a part of the LA alumni network down there, and it was very helpful to just acclimate to a new city. And so it was a very helpful thing to have that resource at my disposal in a new place. I really did appreciate that. I enjoyed my time down in LA, but ultimately decided that the Bay Area was home and it's where I wanted to be long term. So when I came back up in 2010 and started looking for a new job, actually Haas was extremely helpful. I made full use of the Career Services Office when I conducted my job search. I couldn't say enough about the quality of the help and instruction and guidance that I received from the folks in the Career Services Office. Really a huge help to me in figuring out my way back to the Bay Area and preparing myself for a job search. It was kind of the first job search I ever did that didn't involve on-campus recruiting, so it was a bit of a new experience, and it was ultimately very successful, and I owe a lot of that success to the preparation and advice that I received from Haas. I think more recently in 2011, as I was looking again for a new experience, I really started to think about what would really make me happy. I got out of Haas and checked a lot of boxes and did a lot of things that I said I wanted to accomplish, but wasn't necessarily finding that fulfillment and level of enjoyment and satisfaction with my whole life, not just my work life, and wanted to find a different experience, wanted to find something that really would speak to me and allow me to realize my full potential, not just in the workplace, but as a person. And again, Haas was the kind of the unifying factor there. A lot of good friends of mine from Haas still live in the city, and I have very close relationships with them, among them Newton. And so Newton and I got together, actually with Joe, our other classmate here tonight. A bunch of us went out on a bar crawl in the Mission. And amidst an afternoon of beers, we got to talking about what we were up to in life and where we were working, where we wanted to be working. And Newton told me about an opportunity on his team at Google. And he was extremely excited about it and said, "You have to apply. This is going to be the perfect opportunity for you." He had the most complimentary things he could possibly say about his team and the company, and recommended that I throw my hat in the ring, and I did. It was kind of a bit of a departure from what I had been doing, but something that I was very intrigued by, and ultimately it worked out, and now he and I sit essentially right next to each other at Google. As he mentioned, he's on the fitness team. I'm a program manager on the workplace services team, so basically we're the team at Google that provides all the awesome stuff that makes Google the best place to work in the world. So food, fitness, massage, transportation, perks, all the really fun, cool stuff. And I'm an internal consultant on that team, helping optimize those programs and making them the best they can be. And it really has been an awakening for me professionally to work with a team of people who really care about their company and care about each other. And I owe a lot of that to Newton. So I am extremely thankful to him and to the Haas School and the relationships that it allowed me to build. And I'm really happy with where I am in life. And again, I think I owe a tremendous amount of that to Haas. And so it's really fun to come back and meet some new people and also catch up with some old faces as well. So that's my story. I guess if you can sum it up in 4 words, it's drink beer, get job, and then be happy. 6 words. Be happy. So that's my story.
Cool. So I'll just say a few quick words. Can I get a show of hands? Who here is amazed with how, you know, the admissions office, their job is to bring together a community of like-minded people with shared values. Who's amazed at the job that they did at that?
Woo! We're awesome.
Yeah. So, you know, we were let into Haas all the way back in 06. You guys were let in 2011, right? Sorry.
Carry the one.
Sorry, I'm bad at math. So 4 years later, basically it's the same team. They're just 4 years better at what they did for us. So I can only imagine the job they did at building this community. Second, you know, in the job search, they set us up for pretty amazing success. You know, they built this community, and beyond all the stuff like networking and, you know, trying to find the best, you know, career opportunity as positioned by, you know, whatever business article, they set me up with people who treated me like family and knew what I valued and knew what was important to me. So as I did my job search, I had a whole team of people telling me, I know what's important to you, and you are looking in the wrong place, you need to do that. So when, you know, it came to trying to help Clayton find a job, you know, although Clayton and I hadn't seen each other, you know, as consistently as when we were at Haas, I knew what Clayton valued, I knew the person he was, and I knew the job for him. So lastly, as you know, we talk about the LLC campaign. This is a pretty amazing institution that brings together a community like this. It doesn't look like this at other business schools. If you've talked to any of your friends who went to other business schools, what Haas manages to do is amazing. So please, you know, think about how can you support that community, how can you keep this amazing organization doing what it does, and go Bears. Any Q&A? No, okay, thank you.
Thanks so much, Clayton and Newton, for an awesome inspirational speech. We're now going to have a few speeches from our classmates. So 3 speeches. So first up is, I guess, Kojo.
Hello. So Cameron Anderson says if I put these on, you guys will give more money. No more jokes. No more jokes. I'm going to leave the funny to other people. The reason I agreed to do this is because I really wanted to say kind of what the community meant to me, and I have 3 basic truths that I want to share. I might forget the other 2 because I didn't really make any notes. I'm going to remember the first one. The second one is life goes on, and the third one is public school. So if I forget, just, you know, yell that out. So the first one is that it's been an honor. I mean, honestly, guys, I use the words, I pick the words carefully because sometimes I feel like I shouldn't have got this opportunity to be you guys' classmates. I've had such an amazing time over the past 2 years. It's just been fun going to war with you guys, on the dance floor, on the sports field, you know, debating with you guys in class. Everything has just been so much fun. I'm not on Facebook right now. I haven't been on Facebook since September 2011. And I don't know how I'm going to stay in touch with, you know, 200 plus people. So I'm ideating around that, trying to figure it out. Facebook, exactly. That might be one of the solutions. But I wanted to say that without exception, I know some of you really, really well, and for the others that I haven't met, even when it's just been 30 minutes, I've always thought to myself, man, it would be really nice to have more time to spend with each and every one of you, without exception. And I think that's what lifelong connections means to me. There's probably going to be times when I'm in people's cities and I will be staying on your couch or the guest house in your mansion, whatever it is. I look forward to that opportunity. The second truth that I wanted to share was life goes on. Thank you. I did a diversity study last year, and I spoke to a lot of alumni who, you know, felt the same way that I did about my MBA experience, but the MBA is really, it's a means to an end, and you know, life starts and people just have the goals that they came to Haas for, and it's just hard to find ways to give back to this community. But it's always, they said that one thing that was important to them was having very specific things that they thought that they could contribute. And so I urge everyone, when you're giving time, just think about the things that matter to you at Haas and areas that you'd like to improve and find ways to give back. Personally, I'm hoping to be a resource for emerging market private equity and international students that are looking to come back. So that's my time. The third thing is public school. We're getting an MBA from a public school, guys. Like you saw the chart. It's not good. And I think it's important that a lot of us here, we're lucky, we were helped with a lot of aid. And it's just important that we pay it forward, as the ladies were talking about, that we give back to Haas in any way, shape, or form that we can. That's really kind of what I have to say, and I hope everyone, if we make 100% today, everyone get glasses before you start your new job. It'll help immensely. And yeah, so thanks. Just give to Haas, give money.
We love you.
Sorry, our next speaker, the amazing Eileen Chang.
Hey everybody, it's so awesome to see you all here because I feel like we haven't had an excuse to all get together in a while, so I'm just really psyched to be able to have a beer with you guys right now. So I'm wearing one of these blue shirts, but I'm not part of the actual committee, so I'm not being paid to do this. I'm wearing a blue shirt because I really wanted to get involved in Lifelong Connections because these 2 years have been so important to me, as I'm sure they've been so important to you. And I want to highlight two things that stand out to me in my MBA experience. The first just being how amazing you guys have been and how amazing we have come together as a class, and we just have each other's back no matter what. Now I want to briefly highlight a story that illustrates this. Back in 2011, I decided to sign up for a trek that was way beyond my athletic abilities, which was to go hiking in this national park all the way down at the bottom of the earth in Chile with 15 other Haas students that I didn't actually know very well. I think I knew like one or two from OSCE, but I wasn't really close with anybody. And just going through the experience of being dirty, unshowered, hungry, tired, sleeping in tents with 15 people really brought us close together. And I think now, like, if I had to be trapped on a desert island with a bunch of people, I would always, over and over again, choose Haas people because we have each other's back. As you guys probably know, an unplanned stop on our journey down there was about a 5-day stop. After our trek had ended, when they basically closed off all the roads and access in and out of the national park, and we were trapped in this national park together. So we were literally trapped on a desert island together, down in the bottom of the world. And it was just incredible to see how we lifted each other's spirits at different times and came together and really just were able to get each other through it. When we were finally able to get out of the national park, we realized we encountered obstacles each and every part of the way, including having to flee across the border to Argentina, then pony up $100 each. Not all of us had it, so there was a lot of pooling of money. Pony up $100 each to get on a black bus that would take us 3 hours to the nearest small town in Argentina where we could find an airport out of the town. There was definitely escape plans going on. So like Darren Wolf was my get out of the country alive buddy. We had to divvy up the Spanish speakers among everybody. Shilpa had dibs on first flight out of the country because she was pregnant with Alec. And we just kind of came together, and like, it was such a grueling experience, as you can imagine, with, you know, case competitions and class projects and whatever else that you've been through with people here, where it just made me realize these are the people that I would want to be trapped in any situation with. So that's the first one. The second thing that I want to say, and I'll be more brief with this one, is, as you know, I went and studied abroad in Spain last semester, and I had a ton of fun, but I have to say, being at that, being able to sample the culture of another school really highlighted what makes Haas unique and different. And I was repping the Haas brand so hard when I was in Spain. I was like, everybody study abroad at Haas, it's awesome. But what I really found was that Haas has this really unique culture of community and collaboration, which, as I can attest to, not every business school has. The first being that we are just so, as peers, not competitive and really like willing to help each other out, whether it's in class or helping like prepare for interviews and sharing contacts and that sort of thing. The second thing was just the fact that we have such a strong community beyond just the peers. So not every school, believe it or not, will let you, as Don Moore did, dress you up as a professor in Daisy Dukes to play, to bias in Dragioki. Like, not every, that won't happen at every school. Not every school has a dean who's gonna get up and ad-lib words to Piano Man on his acoustic guitar at the talent show. And also not every school has people like Deborah Underwood, Meg Roundy, and Stephanie Fuji, who are going to just drop by a JCVB concert on a random Thursday night. So I think there's definitely something special about this place, and it's not something that I take for granted, because I've seen it on the other side, and Haas is still my favorite. So I want you guys to look around at the people here in this room who have made such a big difference to your 2 years here. Raise a glass with me. And to lifelong connections. I look forward to continuing to stay in touch.
And now we have a very special video message from, I think, a face that you'll all recognize.
Oh, no sound.
LLC event today, but I still wanted to take a couple of minutes and share some of my thoughts, reflections, and really defining memories of my experience with you all at Haas. One of the first memories that I have at Haas is this picture of all 240 of us crawling around on our hands and knees through the grassy field, trying to hollow find the missing wedding ring during orientation. And Paulo, I'm sorry for the reminder, but this scene for me is just so memorable. And what's even more amazing is that we barely knew each other at that point. It was during our first couple of weeks together, and you could already see how strong this common Haas bond was going to be. Another example of this bond was during the C4C basketball tournament, and we were playing against Stanford in the championship game, losing by about 20 points with a minute or so left. Yet our entire crowd was still doing chants and cheers for Haas. And when the clock hit 0 and we did lose by about 20, our fans were actually going to storm the court. And you could just look around the faces of the Stanford guys, and I think they were in awe of the tightness of the relationship and the bond that we have as classmates at Haas. Or I think back to every single amazing John Paul Van Band concert where we're screaming at the top of our lungs for the band. Yeah, the list goes on and on. There's just so many amazing memories. For me personally, I had my goodbye a couple of weeks ago, and I was honored and humbled to see how many people came out to wish me well. And that's one of the incredible things about Haas, is that everybody's always wishing you well. There's never any detractors for my dreams, which were very specific to coming home, coming back to the city of Detroit, which not many people do. But I never had anybody tell me no, or that I shouldn't, or that I couldn't. Everybody was always very positive and encouraging and supportive. And I think that's, this idea of always having a couple hundred cheerleaders at your side is a really powerful thing as we move forward in our careers. I think we always need to keep in mind that you do have a couple hundred cheerleaders who really always want you to do well and will support you and through the best of times and the worst of times. And I hope you all know that you've got one big-time cheerleader here in Detroit, and anytime you're stopping through the Midwest, I hope you look me up and we can meet up. So lastly, I wanted to just mention the importance of giving back to school, giving back to this institution, Haas, that brought us all together and gave us all these wonderful memories and experiences. I think that we owe it to the school and to the future students to be able to provide that opportunity for them as well. So I hope to see you all in a couple of weeks at graduation, and until then, bye-bye.
So we're going to take a quick 5-minute break so everyone grab food, drinks, and we're going to come back and unveil the video. You don't want to miss this.